Hello, hello. It is 4:30 on Thursday, which means it is time for another episode of At the Maker's Table. Today, I am proud to announce that I am sponsored by iBobs. They are a Minnesota homegrown eyewear company that frames your personality, and it is an amazing company, and I'm thrilled that they've joined us. I'm wearing my Kvetcher frames right now. They're just a great company, and I'm honored to be part of their Makers campaign, which is Meet the Makers of Minneapolis, which is right now. Nikkolette is joining me. I'll talk more about iBobs at the end. Let's see what we have here. Waiting, connecting. Cheers, you were fast. How are you?
Hello.
Oh, I can barely hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
How are you? Are you relaxed more than I saw you this morning?
Little bit.
I
think this is the first time I sat down.
Oh, well, I'm glad I gave you that luxury today. It's always a good sign when I go to a business and they have their social distancing marks outside the door. So I know that you're busy enough to keep them outside a little bit. Well,
right?
I want to talk a little bit about how we met. I kind of was looking back and think we met in Loring Park at the Chipotle Cultivate in 2014.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
You have come a long way, baby, because you got a billboard now.
Yeah. I know.
I'm so proud of you, and I love your little bakery up there. This morning when I was headed up and saw that billboard, I thought, damn, she's really made it. She has a billboard now.
Yes, the billboard we put up in December, and then we did in for Valentine's Day too, because I think a lot of people aren't used to us actually having a walk-in storefront. So that's kind of what we did to kind of have awareness.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit about your journey, but let's kind of think about you're Minnesota born and raised, and how does being in Minnesota kind of influence your work? Because French macarons are not necessarily a Minnesota thing.
No, they're really not. So yeah, back in 2014 or 13, kind of when I started, there really weren't any macaron makers in Minnesota. So I thought it was kind of a perfect kind of way to start the business. So
yeah. And we've said it a couple times, but it is macaron and not macaroon.
Correct. So the macaroon has two O's, and that is.
Oh, you cut out. Two O's and what?
Oops, sorry about that. I hit my social media limit for the day. Turned it off. So macaroon is with two O's, and that is the coconut one. So I make the French macaron, or you can say macaron. Either way.
Either way.
Even if you say macaroon, I know what you mean.
Do you still correct people, or do you just smile and hand them one?
I just smile.
You've got this perfect smile for that. So started in 2013, not new concept, but new kind of brand to Minnesota. But why macarons?
Yep.
How did you learn how to make them?
It was just something because I always I love to bake. So I'm always the person in my family that makes, the desserts. And so I kind of, my husband and I love to travel. And so we've eaten them all over the world. And it was just something I wanted to try. And I heard they were really tough to make. So I kind of took it as a challenge. And it was like batch after batch after batch of failures. So don't give up. And, once I started doing it, I, kind of was making them for family and friends, and it just turned into a business.
You said this morning that you've made every macaron and that they are perfected now. But do you still perfected might be that's my compliment to you.
Yeah.
Do you still think like, I'm going to try this flavor, it's going to be so good, and then it's just like, damn, this one's not hitting the case?
Yeah, so the flavors I'm good at. I still have issues with the shells. So even this week, I had a big batch that I just wasn't as happy with. So
right.
Even after all these years, I still have to be super, super careful, follow the process, and just, yeah, there's still days.
You can't rush it at all, can you?
No, you can't. You cannot rush it. So.
Okay, so you've got me all skipping ahead. So let me hope I forget or don't forget anything. All right, so let's just talk about the parts because everybody watches British Bake Off. Everybody
Yep.
watches Foot Network. They've heard the foot, the filling, the shell, the skin, the everything. So let's talk about the anatomy of a macaron.
Yes. So the macaron, so the shells are made with it's made with almond flour. So it's kind of like a little meringue. So they're naturally gluten-free. So it's egg whites and almond flour.
Okay.
So you make this meringue batter, and then you pipe it. And then when it bakes, it forms, as you can see around the outside, that little ruffle. That's what's referred to as the foot. So if you've done your macaronage and piped everything perfectly, you'll get that little foot, and that forms in the oven.
Now, I've had Sarah Kiefer on, who's 100 Cookies, and her pan-banging chocolate chip cookies. But you also bang this pan, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, we bang the pans so that the macarons are nice and flat. So.
And you're looking for, like, before they go in, like a sheen or skin, or what is that thing called?
Yep. So they need to form a skin. Otherwise, they'll crack when they bake. And so the weather is, so it's not, I can't necessarily say like they need to sit out for, X minutes, because it changes every time I make them based on the humidity or the dryness or, what's going on in the commercial kitchen. Like if someone has the hood systems on, they're going to, dry out really quick. If it's super humid out, it could take like almost an hour for that skin to form. So it's, you really have to get a feeling for it.
Yeah. Is there a perfect way to eat them? I know you probably shouldn't spread them, but
No.
I know, but I just
No.
spread to show.
Not an Oreo.
I'm going to spread it to show and tell people the difference is between yours and everybody else's is that filling is luxurious. I mean,
Yes.
It is not a sickening sweet buttercream. It is, in fact.
Yes, so I use dark or white chocolate ganaches in all of mine. I just really enjoy the flavor profile versus a really sweet buttercream. And so, yeah, I just love the texture of it. So yeah, a good macaron should melt in your mouth. It shouldn't be like rock hard and crunchy.
It shouldn't be chewy. I mean, this is like a meringue. This has that beautiful, look at that flake, people.
Yep, so they should have that little crisp on the outside, and then the inside should just like melt in your mouth. Did you try the red hot cinnamon one yet?
We'll get to that one. I did the marshmallow because that's one of my favorites. But I mean, I've had macarons. Sometimes it tastes like bubble gum. I mean, they're just like chew, 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 chew. Yours have never been like that. And it's,
they should have a slight chew, but they shouldn't be, like you said, they shouldn't be like chewing bubble gum.
One of your neighbors' cock-a-doodle-doo gifts is on. Neighbors to your home, right? Right there.
Yes, neighbors in my home neighborhood. So hi, Jerry.
Which is a great store. You should all go there as well.
Yes.
All right. So, you come from a food family. Your dad is a chef.
Yep.
Tell me your first food memory of things that he cooked, and then we'll talk first macaron memory.
So I remember, because he was the executive chef at the airport Hilton for a long time, and so he would name dishes after me and my sister. So I know there was like a chicken a la Nikkolette, and so my sister and I, when we were little kids, we would always be at the kitchen at the Hilton. So we would go for Easter and dye all the Easter eggs that were out like at the, Easter brunches. And we were always running around the kitchen. So I've been used to being in a commercial kitchen since a little kid.
Did you think you could just go to any restaurant and order chicken a la Nikkolette?
Probably.
I bet you did. I would. I wish there was a chicken a la Jared or something. And you said that you love to travel. First, let me ask, what's your first big trip when the world opens up again?
It's gonna be to Turkey because we actually had to cancel a trip to Turkey because of COVID. So we have the whole trip planned. So hotels and everything. We'll just rebook the whole trip.
That'll be wonderful. Tell me your first macaron memory.
My first macro memory, well, probably when my husband and I went to Paris.
Okay.
Is probably when I had him first. So
you're Minnesota famous and American famous. What do you think the most famous one in the world is?
oh, Lauderay
Yeah.
for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Lauderay or Pierre Hermé. Both are French. Yep.
Tell me the most satisfying part, whether it's baking birthday cakes for your family or dinner after work or another 1,000 macarons. What's kind of the most satisfying part of just making something with your hands for you?
So for me, it's more like other people's reactions. So I just, like to make people happy. Whether it's my family or watching little kids or adults come into the storefront, and then, they're beautiful. So everyone's just always happy.
Yeah.
You can't be grumpy coming into a French macaron shop.
Not at all. Not at all. So, as a food producer, you make a beautiful product. It lets us indulge, but you also have the power to transport, with a bite. You can take them to France. You can take them to, I don't know whose Minnesota grandma made macarons, but you really kind of call on those sensory memories for people. So what do you want people to think about when they have one of your macarons?
Oh, I want them to remember trips, or I want them to think about going on a trip to France. I do think they're just a nice little indulgence. I always like to call them an affordable luxury.
They are. They're a little vacation to France and a bite.
Yep.
That's good. We should remember that. All right. So you followed kind of the classic path of a maker where you had a corporate job, you were going to the kitchen at night, and then you finally knew this was it. But your corporate life was very numbers oriented. And I would say you're a math nerd. I would dare call you a nerdy maker.
Yes, I do have I have a degree in mathematics. So
yeah. And I think that's what makes you so precise, because I know when I first came up all those years ago to the kitchen and watched you at night, you have your little patterns drawn out. And you see those people on the cooking show now, and you just see that's never going to work. They're so uneven. Look at that. They didn't let it rest long enough. But I think that precision of that math brain has to make you a better baker.
Yep. And I wonder if I'm the only person in a commercial kitchen. I think I have 5 calculators. They're everywhere.
Probably.
Because, I do everything's just weighed to the gram. So I have all the calculations in my head. And so I just calc it out.
Now, calc it out. That sounds like a hashtag for you. Are you as good a savory cook as you are a baker?
I do like to cook. So, yeah, I think so.
Because in my mind, I can do savory fine. I don't like to bake. Because if you screw up baking, you don't know till that first bite. At least I don't. And there's no way to fix it. Yeah. So maybe I should calc it out a little bit.
Although when I cook, I do follow a recipe. I follow all the steps.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't just be I have these 10 ingredients, I'm going to throw them together. Oh, so I probably take more of a baking approach to cooking.
Oh, no. I can just wing it. But I'm also one of those that's I can't find my quarter cup. I'll use my third cup, and then that really screws everything up. All right, so all our dirty little secrets. Tell me, when did you know you could leave that corporate job? When did you just think it's time?
It was time when I was leaving my, desk job, coming here, working, till midnight, and then all weekends. And then my husband was meeting me here, and he was helping me all weekend too. So that was kind of, I guess, one of the only times we really saw each other was when he'd come in and help me bake. So it was just getting to the point too, I had to make a decision. And then I did end up purchasing, so I bought the commercial kitchen that I was renting at. So the owner retired, and so I purchased the building. So it was at this perfect moment when I was like, I need to do this. Like, let's take the leap. So, and it's been working out really good. So,
Were you scared, or had you calced it out and knew that it could work?
oh, I calced it out.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
But it's still scary. Life as an entrepreneur is, totally different than going to work and seeing people all day. And so.
Tell me this, what advice do you have for makers that are kind of on that fence of, do I start making? Do I do making full time? What advice would you give them?
I would just say that it's a lot of work and a lot of hustling. It just doesn't come to you. Like, at this point, it's been a 7-year journey. So it's a lot of nights, it's a lot of weekends, it's a lot of farmers markets, it's a lot of holiday shows. You don't have a weekend starting in, November. You don't get to stay home for Valentine's Day. You got to kind of think of all that stuff. And then, so you got to really be like 100% dedicated and really, really, really know your numbers. Really know that you could be making something really cute and it can take you a long time, but is it making you money?
Yeah.
And money is not always the most important thing, but to really have a successful long-term business that you can, rely on, you have to know the numbers too.
How many do you eat a day?
None.
For real?
Yeah.
For real?
I know when they're good, so I don't need to try them. So they're still a treat for me too. Like, every few months I'll eat one and I'll be like, they're good. They're still good.
Oh. I mean, is it still excites you, or are you like, must make macarons, must make?
People even tell my husband, they're like, I bet you get them all the time. He's like, no.
Really? Well,
I'll eat if one's break or there's rejects, I'll eat those.
Well, we're gonna eat one today, right?
What?
We're gonna eat one together today, right?
Okay. I have to go get one.
Well, I'm gonna make you go get one. I'm gonna force feed you one over Instagram.
Okay, let me go grab one really quick.
Show us the front of the place while you're up.
Okay, hold on. You know what? I'm gonna put my mask on quick just in case anyone comes in.
Good idea.
Okay. So this is the storefront. So can you see the case?
Beautiful.
So, and then it's just little place, but
serves its purpose.
does the job. But yeah, it's fun. Okay, I grabbed one.
All right. Head back in there.
Back.
We'll keep talking and we'll have one.
Okay.
Which one do you want me to eat?
I'm doing the red hot cinnamon.
I kind of want to try this cocoa one.
Okay.
Okay, but let's talk about this before.
So yeah, these two. Oh yeah, so the red hot cinnamon and the one you have, the spiced chocolate, are special for this week. So this one kind of tastes like a hot tamale or red hot. So it's a white chocolate ganache with cinnamon oil, and the one you have is the spiced chocolate. So that's a dark chocolate ganache with like cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves.
It smells so good. Cheers.
Are we eating them?
Yes, no.
Mm. Yum yum.
You know it's good.
They're still good. Mine's a little cold. I just pulled it out of the fridge. I think they're best at room temp.
Mine is perfect, and that layer of chocolate is divine.
Yeah.
I get a little heat. It's just lovely.
Thanks.
The other thing that you do so well is you can now custom print. So let's talk about.
Yes. So I have a new toy. It's an edible printer. So I can direct print edible ink right onto the product. So it's not like a sugar paper transfer or anything. It's direct onto the food. So it's really nice. So the one you have says like XOXO for Valentine's Day. But I can print corporate logos. And you can order this from my website. Like I have a set of 4 that say like, will you be my bridesmaid? For, brides, we can customize with initials for weddings. And then like, yeah, corporate logos, like I said, are really popular. So,
Yeah.
Once parties and events start coming back again, it's a really fun, kind of extra thing.
Absolutely. Tell me, do you listen to music while you bake?
Yeah.
What do you listen to?
I like a little bit of everything, honestly.
Okay.
And then like talk radio. So I like country, I like pop, I like alternative. I kind of just have a bunch of different stations I listen to, and
okay, that works.
So
all right, so you've used the word commercial kitchen a lot, and I've talked about how makers need a space. And in Minnesota, you can only bake out of your house for so long, or make out of your house, and then you have to be in a commercial kitchen. And besides baking your macarons there, you have created the Minneapolis Kitchen Ring.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that and how important spaces like that are to makers, and kind of some of your folks that are in there. Ink Sweets has joined us, so hello to her.
Oh, yes. She's here in the kitchen too. So yes, Leah, she's awesome. Follow her.
She makes a
so we have 15 small food. Yep. So we have 15 different small, food producers here. So yeah, about 2 years ago, I kind of figured that was my kind of goal for the kitchen, because it was bigger than just that I would need. And so I didn't really see any commercial kitchen rental spaces here, like on the West Metro side. So I'm in Plymouth. So most of them are downtown, I don't know if people have heard of like Kindred Kitchen or City Food Studio. So those ones are, in Minneapolis. But there's a really, really high demand for it, because not everybody needs their own space. They might just need it for 4 hours a month, or, 8 hours a week, or something like that. So we have a nice little calendar system, and people block their time off, and it works really well. And we're all kind of like a nice little family and help each other out, and, promote each other. And so like even Ink Sweets. So like on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, she'll be having her cupcakes and cookies, and it's kind of a nice little collaboration.
Yeah. And they're amazing. And she's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And pickles, you have pickles there, I learned this morning. Pickles and sauces and coffees and all sorts of stuff. Granola bars and So it's a cool thing that you've created up there. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Well, let's talk a little bit about where they can find you. Obviously there at the kitchen and at NikkoletteMacarons.com.
Yes. Yep. So you can order online. We ship nationwide. So if you need gifts for your birthdays or whatever, we ship every day. And our storefronts open Wednesday through Saturday. So you can pop on in. You can pre-order through the website and then come pick up too. And we're also at Certix downtown. So they carry our macarons. I'm in a few other places, like a bakery in Lakeville, at Mini Row Market in Hopkins, downtown Hopkins.
Isn't that a great place?
It's a really great place, yeah. I like those stores that support local.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
All right, so let's go back to the power of the macaron and how wonderful yours are. If you could bake for anybody and sit down and eat your once-a-month macaron with somebody, who would it be?
I don't know.
You knew this question was coming.
No, I didn't.
Well, you should have. I like to throw one in there. Come on, are you a tea and macarons with Taylor Swift, or are you who are you kind of person?
I mean, obviously I would eat a macaron with Taylor Swift. I'm also a cat person, so.
I knew it, see? I picked it for you. You could have a little T Swift macaron tribute and
I can print her face on it and send
or
it to
cat's face, either one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have laughed so much with you, and I've got a little sugar rush from these. So thank you very, very much. It's always a pleasure. It was so nice to see you this morning and to see you here, and that you've shared our journey. And I think it's a powerful one that you can do both, but you can't do both forever. And so there's a time when you know it's time to leave. There's a time when you know you need your own space, and you've created that space for yourself and for others. And I think that's just wonderful. And like I said at the beginning, you've come a long way. You got a billboard now, baby. And I'm so proud of you.
Right?
Beats
Well, thank you. I had a
Orange
nice
Park.
time. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to wrap up for us. But it's been a pleasure. Go get macarons from her for Valentine's Day. Go get them every weekend. There's Macaron of the Month Club, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
3, 6, or 12 months.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to close this out. So cheers. Thank you very, very much. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye. I'll have another bite. You just kind of have to wiggle your head when you eat one. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to our sponsor, iBobs, for sponsoring At the Maker's Table. They will frame your personality with Sunny's prescriptions and blue light readers, and they are an amazing company with fun frames. You can read the digital edition of Minnesota Monthly at minnesotamonthly.com. It is Grill Fest in May. We will be live at CHS Stadium, so get your tickets for that. I have macaron in my mouth. Follow us at Minmo Mag, at Nikkolette's Macarons, 2 Ks, 2 Ts, at Mr. Jared Scott, and at iBobs. Thank you very much. Until I see you next week, make something, be safe, eat macarons, wash your hands, stay warm, wear a mask. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, everybody.